Good afternoon. Philip Stockin, Chair of the Ways and Means Committee. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Please, if you'd stand and join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mr. Stockin,
Present.
Mr. Fanton, Mr. Curran, Mr. Decker,
Here.
Mr. Havey,
Here.
Mr. Healy,
Here.
Mrs. Hopkins, Mrs. Root,
Here.
Mr. Crandall. 7 present.
Thank you. We have minutes from November 8th that need approval. If I have a motion, please, Mrs. Root and Mr. Havey seconds. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And they're carried. Minutes from November 17. Have a motion, Mr. Fanton, second, Mrs. Hopkins. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. And finally, minutes from November 22nd. Motion, Mr. Decker. Second, Mr. Havey. Are there any questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And they are approved. Thank you. You have an audit that was emailed out and also on your desks. If we could have a motion to approve that, Mrs. Root. Second, Mr. Healy. Just a comment, the total on this is one of the highest that I've seen all year, if not the highest, and a lot of that has to do with end-of-the-year things that come on in payroll and other things. So if you have questions, they can be answered, but that's why it's higher than normal. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that's carried. And we have some referrals from committees. We'll start with Human Services. Oops, excuse me, I had the wrong paper turned up. We'll start with Public Safety. Mr. Healy.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. First up, I have Public Defender J.R. Santana Carter is requesting a resolution to fill one full-time second assistant public defender, Section 4 salary. The annual salary of this position is estimated to be $84,045, with benefits estimated to be $32,836. This position is funded 100% with state funds and benefits funded 100% with county funds. This position is needed for work towards balancing attorney caseloads and complying with caseload standards. And I'll move that.
Motion, Mr. Healy. Support, Mr. Havey. Are there any questions? Excuse me. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that's carried. Thank you.
Number 2 is Emergency Management and Fire Director Jeff Lucky is requesting a resolution to accept the DHSES SHSP 21 grant, contract number T153310, and DHSES number WM211533310 for $31,366 and fiscal year 21 authorized submission of the grant application. This grant was awarded in total of $59,750, shared accordingly $14,938, which is 25% shared with the Sheriff's Office towards law enforcement terrorism prevention activities, of which $13,446 is earmarked for our national priority area, the terrorism that DHS slash FEMA is requiring. These areas include a national cybersecurity review by December 31st of 2021, soft targets in crowded places, intelligence and information sharing, and emergency threats. That will be monitored by the Sheriff's Office, and the balance of $31,000 for emergency services. That grant should be budgeted as follows and laid out below, and also in the attached MOE that you'll find in your packet, and I will move that.
Move Mr. Healy, second Mr. Fenton. Are there any questions? Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that's carried.
And last, Sheriff Rick Whitney is requesting a resolution to fill one full-time correction officer's Council 82 bargain unit, grade 55, step base, in the sheriff's office. This position is being requested to replace a full-time correction officer that resigned. The annual salary of that position is $46,941.02, with benefits estimated at $18,339.86. This position is funded 100% with county funds, and you will also find attached in your packet a request to fill form, an RFP, and that has been signed off by all the appropriate, well, no, it wasn't. It was signed off by the department head, and I am assuming that both the county administrator and the personnel officer have approved this, just haven't signed the RFP yet. Is that correct?
Yes.
Mr. Bunger also acknowledges from the back that it has his approval, so I'm glad to move that.
Motion, Mr. Healy. Support, Mr. Havy. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that's carried. Thank you. Human Services, Mrs. Hopkins.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Community Services Director Robert Anderson is requesting a resolution to fill 2 full-time Children and Family Intensive Case Managers. That's PEF bargaining unit, grade 7, step base to 11. The position is requested due to the increasing numbers of individuals needing service and the case manager limits that are placed upon the case managers. So it is necessary to at least to have one more manager employed immediately by the county, and I believe the other one is being approved for the future. It is completely funded, 100%, with revenues generated by providing services, and I will move that for acceptance.
Move Mrs. Hopkins, second Mr. Fenton. Are there any questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that's carried. Thank you.
Number 2, Office of the Aging Director Anita Madison is requesting a resolution to fill 1 full-time senior account clerk typist, that's AFSCME bargaining unit, grade 10, step base to 6, in response to a resignation. The position is responsible for the oversight of the typist, data entry, and support to the accountant. The Office of the Aging is requesting to fill this position with a 2-week overlap for training purposes due to the complexity of the position. It is included in the OFA budget for 2021 as well as 2022, and it is funded 10% county, 25% state, and 65% federal, and I'll move that.
Motion, Mrs. Hopkins. Support, Mr. Havy. Any questions? Discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that's carried.
Number 3, Social Services Commissioner Edna Kays is requesting a resolution to fill 2 full-time social welfare examiners and any resulting backfills. That's ASME, grade 11, step base to 7. The position is responsible for interviewing clients and determining eligibility for benefits. The position is funded 38% county, 10% state, and 52% federal funds, and I move that.
Motion, Mrs. Hopkins. Second, Mr. Havy. Any questions or discussion? None, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that's carried.
And finally, Social Services Commissioner Edna Kays is requesting a resolution to fill 1 full-time registered nurse and any resulting backfills. That's the New York State Nurses Association, the grade 1, step base to 6. This position completes the plan of care that requires a registered nurse for our Medicaid long-term care services and provides PRN screens for potential nursing home patients, assists APS in assessing capacity and medical needs for adjunctive for adult protective services. It is reimbursed with qualifying resources to offset the cost of benefits to the county, and it is 12.5% county, 12.5% state, and 75% federal funds, and I move that for acceptance.
Motion by Mrs. Hopkins, second by Mr. Fanton. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that's carried. Thank you. Any other referrals? Anywhere else? Is there any old business? New business? Good of the order?
Take about a 5-minute break.
Okay, caucus in 5 minutes. Thank you. Anything else? A motion to adjourn? Mr. Decker, Mr. Havy. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. We're adjourned.